Oh boy, we've got a lot to talk about. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Czabu, and I think at this point I'm considering calling myself some type of variety channel. I like to post about things that I'm interested in, like traveling and gaming and unboxing and things that are really important to me. Things like Pokemon. My channel originally was actually supposed to be a Vocaloid channel, and way back in the early 2000s, like everyone else, I was posting my top 10s. But except it was Vocaloid. Yeah, that was way back in the day, but I really wanted to eradicate that part of my life, so you will not be able to find that ever, hopefully. But right now, the focus is Pokemon. So right before COVID, I wanted to try something a little bit different than what I was used to. I wanted to be a YouTuber, but I didn't know really what I wanted to do. That's when I really started watching a YouTuber called Max Mofo, and I was watching him do things that he actually really wasn't known for, which was opening up Pokemon cards. So go back all the way back to what feels like it was 100 years ago, 1996, the same year that Pokemon came to the States. And let me tell you, it was a time to be alive, especially for a young child. I had everything: the plushies, VHS tapes, the games, toys, and of course, the ultimate Pokemon birthday cake. Except I had everything except for, well, the cards. With the Pokemon community, you can literally make content about anything. The video games have categories like shiny hunting and competitive battling. There's Pokemon Go, where people involve traveling or battling or talking about events. And then there's me, talking about Pokemon Sleep. Yeah, I don't know how I've hyperfixated on that, but it is one of my favorite things to talk about on the channel. I wish there was more to talk about Pokemon Sleep, and that last video that I did, I really appreciate the support, and I had so much fun making it. And I hope that you all can see in my videos the genuine excitement that fills my little geeky heart talking about Pokemon. But I wanted to try and talk about something very different today, something that has been bothering me actually for a little bit. I wanted to talk about the Pokemon TCG hobby, another massive branch of the Pokemon community. As stated in my last opinionated video, I'm actually usually not comfortable sharing with my opinion, so I understand that some people are not always going to have the same opinion as you. With that video, I actually got a pretty positive response though, and although some people didn't agree with my stance about it and about the app, still I was really thrilled actually sharing my opinion, and most people actually kept it really respectful, and it made me feel good. And that's what's really pushed me to really want to voice my opinion on one of the most things that I'm passionate about right now, which is opening up Pokemon cards, or the Pokemon TCG community. Also, with this too, just like the last video, I appreciate any type of feedback as long as it's respectful. Also, the team behind Pokemon Go may or may not have sent me a survey in the app. I don't know if that happened to anybody else recently, but yeah, that happened. Coincidence? Maybe. I don't know. I shouldn't feel guilty about sharing my opinion. I'm a small Pokemon content creator after all, and I've been opening up cards for actually quite a bit now. So I think it's time for me to become more transparent about my feelings about the TCG community and the hobby right now. So let's talk about it. The question that I've been wanting to ask myself and others in the community is, opening up Pokemon cards still fun? Before we begin, I would like to say this video's sponsor is absolutely no one. So if you want to support me, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment. Once again, I really appreciate everyone's support, and even just watching the video goes a long way. Thank you all for everything. So let's talk about today's topic. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I actually started collecting right before the pandemic with Champion's Path. I will never forget the first pull that I got. It was Pierce, a rainbow rare, and I was so excited and I couldn't contain myself. I was shy at opening up Pokemon cards, as you all can see. Yeah, maybe don't go check out that first video. It's up, so. But it really shows that I've come a long way with opening up Pokemon cards. After opening up, I actually realized around that time it was pretty hard to find product, and that's because it was all thanks to a certain event and guy entering into the Pokemon community. Fast forward up until Surging Sparks release, and honestly, I've been able to do so much in the hobby, and I've been having so much fun. I have been able to fill binders with some of my favorite cards like alt arts and full arts. I mean, just look at that. I'm trying to get that pairing, by the way. I've also begun dipping my toe into older sets like Southern Islands. But something has recently happened in the hobby. Once again, your average collectors are having a really hard time finding product right now. And with that comes people what I like to call misbehaving in the community. Since Surging Sparks, I actually haven't been able to find any product on the shelves at my local stores like GameStop and Walmart or Target for that matter. In fact, I can even argue that product is just as limited now, if not more limited than it was probably right around when COVID started. I'm usually pretty good about grabbing product, grabbing a box or two online, but recently I've had about zero luck up until now, actually, but I'll talk about that a little later. I was recently able to grab an Iona box, which was super awesome, but of course everything comes at a cost. I didn't get a single hit out of those packs, which is fine. You know, you're not always going to get a hit out of every pack. But what bothered me is that I fought so hard to get it for MSRP. I got the box, I opened up the packs, no hits, that was obvious. But if you all checked out my video, then you would have saw that I was actually a little bit disappointed because Iona herself, the acrylic figure, was damaged. And I probably didn't do a pretty good job at hiding my disappointment in that video. But, you know, I didn't really want to hide it. I wanted everybody to see that side of the hobby, you know? You lose some, and you lose some, and you lose some, and you lose some, and that's what it's just been feeling like recently. Back on topic with getting pre-orders, if I didn't pre-order before the surge, because that's what I'm calling it at this point, Surging Sparks, the surge, it makes sense, right? Then I just wasn't able to get it, or I haven't been able to get it at all. I've constantly been greeted with the same Pikachu over and over again, watching it basically flick me off and wait in an infinite line, what feels like an infinite line probably for the rest of my life. And by the time I make it to the Pokemon Center, I am always also greeted with another sold out. So let's be honest here. If you aren't getting in a virtual queue the second, and I mean the second, that it drops, you're probably not going to be able to beat out the bots and get what you want on any site. The latest drop with the new Pokemon TCG White Flare and Black Bolt was actually really disastrous. Towards the end, it got a little bit better, but once again, I'll explain that in just a second. It's honestly, though, it was, besides the Van Gogh disaster, was the most disastrous pre-order drop I think I have ever seen. There was error after error after error after error, and it had been reported that at one point, 850,000 people were waiting in line. Except there's no possible way that it was 850,000. I probably would argue that a lot of them were bots. And all I could do was once again sit there, Pikachu, me, having a battle, staring at each other, looking in the eyes, and me in the back of my mind knowing that I probably wasn't going to get what I wanted. At this point, and after 2 hours of waiting, I was finally actually able to get access to the site. I go in, I sign in, and access denied immediately. That was my first mistake. In fact, before I had signed in, I had even added them to cart, and then it was like, oh, well, you'll be able to check out faster if you sign in. And I got a little nervous when I saw that, and I was like, you know what, let me attempt it. No, signing in actually managed to push me to the back of the line after I had finally stopped getting the access denied screen. And it was a nightmare. I had officially told myself there is no way I am going to get this new set. But somehow, I don't know what convinced me. I just kind of looked at the screen. I was feeling defeated. I was tired. I had other things that I had to do, obviously. I actually jumped back in line. And after another 2 hours of waiting, I was actually able to grab pre-orders. So how did I manage to pull off getting pre-orders almost 4 hours after they had dropped? I don't know. And honestly, I have to give props to the Pokemon Company that they did do a little bit better than the Van Gogh situation. But there was things happening behind the scenes from away from me that was still making this a horrific experience for everyone. So once I was able to get back in, I did not sign in. I was literally treating this, and it felt like open heart surgery. I carefully put in my information. I quick viewed and added the 2 EBTs to my box or my cart. and I hit the button and it actually went through. And in fact, pre-orders were still going on for quite a bit after I had successfully gotten mine. So I really hope that everyone was able to get what they wanted. And I've already seen the links for Best Buy and other stuff with the other. I'm not even looking because I'm going to just assume that they had already sold out. But I have to say, with all of that, because it really did feel like performing open heart surgery, it was one of the most horrific experiences I've had in my life involving Pokemon cards. I also took to X to see if anyone was having any luck, and very few people had scored boxes. And to those people, once again, I say congrats. It was hard earned and it was worth fighting against the bots. Just another reason why I sometimes ask myself, is all of this still fun? The 3 or 4 hours of battling the bots with the Pokemon Center, racking my nerves and maybe doubting, oh my gosh, am I ever going to be able to open up a new set again? It's just not a good feeling, like, at all. And I was actually still once again impressed with the pre-orders, though, still being around. So if I want to give you all a time frame that they were open, I would say that I hopped in line probably between 11:30 and 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, and then they were still going on for about maybe 6 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time in the afternoon. So that was a lot. I had heard that the system had actually, like I said, been fighting off bots, and I really liked that. And I know a lot of people may disagree with me. Once again, here it comes. I liked that there was a product limit on there because it gave a chance for people to, get what they wanted. I'm okay with opening one of each. I'm totally fine with that if that gives other people the chance to open something. Now, I've been asked, hey Cizaboo, why not wait in line at your local store? To which I say, job, life events, and job. And don't get me started on products being sold above MSRP. That's my golden rule that I have had on the channel, and that's why you're not seeing a lot of extra videos come out, because I will not pay an outrageous price for an ETB or the Iono Belly Bolt Premium Collection. I just simply won't do it. I can't complain about there being no product if I am paying for scalped prices. I just can't justify doing it. And I understand that people need to make their money or people need to make their content. I totally get it. But for me personally, I just can't do that. I don't think that it's in my heart to do something like that. My channel isn't for profit. I don't need to buy a scalped ETB of Prismatic or any scalped product for that matter. I know that I need content to entertain the 1.5K that are subbed to my channel, right? But I want it to be genuine. And if I spend 4 times the price on getting a box or a product with no hits, then how can I be genuine? You get what I'm saying? And I don't care who you are, like as a content creator, paying all that money just to get a box where you get no hits, you're not going to get a genuine reaction. And to me, I feel like that's just natural. To solve that problem, or at least it was a temporary solution until you know what happened with you know what, I actually love opening up foreign products to show off on the channel. In fact, coming up from Spoils and Loot, I found them over on Instagram and I found their website. I am actually going to be opening up Prismatic Evolutions in Korean, and I am actually really excited about it. More excited than I was to open up the product in English. Also, with Spoils and Loot, they also have been selling their product for very reasonable and generous prices, and that's just another thing that makes me more excited to open it up than English. I think that with regulating product and websites that sell Pokemon TCG products, the lack of product problem could easily be fixed. In fact, I am that type of person to where I don't mind being limited to buy 1 ETB per purchase if that means someone else is going to be able to get to open that product as well, that genuinely wants to open it. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Like, without getting sappy and everything else, it's about everyone sitting down, enjoying what they love, collecting the packs, collecting the cards, doing battles, going to tournaments, and just enjoying being with one another and bonding over the same thing, Pokemon. And let's be honest, fighting to try to get that product and not being able to open it and sit down and do those normal things that you should be able to do in the community, it's hard. And the feeling just really sucks. Let's be honest, no one can do the same thing forever. And if you can, well, props to you. But no one can do the same thing forever without feeling burnt out or needing to take a break, right? That being said, I used to come out with time to open videos all the time, like at least 4 to 5 times a week up until about a year ago. Don't get me wrong, I was having so much fun at first, but then it started to become like it was becoming my job, actually. And when you're living in the moment at first and and you're starting something new, it's really easy to just overdo things. The burnout that I felt about a year ago wasn't towards the entire Pokemon community. In fact, it was just a small part of it. It was the Pokemon TCG community. And it was all the problems that I mentioned before, being hard to get cards and everything else. And that's why I wanted to try other things, like opening up Pokemon cards that were from Japan and Korea and China, and even the one time I opened the cards from Germany and did a travel video on it. It was exciting, it was fun, it was something different, it was like enjoyable to me, and I saw that a lot of people liked it as well, so that's why I wanted to share my experience. But it all goes back to having to battle to the death to try to get English cards. I'm not coming out with videos as frequently as I did because I don't want to feel burnt out and I want to be genuine. With Pokemon TCG, it's also hard to not get discouraged when you don't get the card that you want or the card that you have been trying to chase for a really long time after opening so many packs. And with some creators, it has been highlighted that many people have noticed that some of their creators, I will not mention names, have just not been excited about the next sets coming up or just are not as enthusiastic when they're opening up packs. And I'm that type of person to where if I just don't enjoy doing something, I'm just simply not going to do it. That's why I have focused on manga talk or Pokemon Sleep for a while instead of opening up packs. And I know that some people didn't subscribe to my channel to watch that type of stuff, but at this point, I'm considering myself a variety Pokemon YouTuber. I like to do more than just cards, but I'll never forget where my channel came from. Vocaloid. Okay. Pokemon cards. Well, actually, technically, Fire Emblem Cypher, which is a beautiful card game, by the way. It's a dead card game, but it was beautiful opening it up. My whole point with this is, why get excited for something that you're probably not going to get the chance to open? And that's why a lot of people, including myself, not now, I think I'm doing a little bit better than what I was, but we're just feeling really burnt out with all that. And yes, once again, I just said it. Sometimes I do get burnt out, and that's why I will take a break. And there are times where I have just turned off my camera and I have opened packs to myself and I have enjoyed it more than actually just recording it. And I think that that's okay. In fact, I think that that's okay for anyone to do. I went back to my roots on what the purpose of all this is, and it's just to have fun. There are bigger creators where you can tell that opening cards has just become like a job to them, and they're just mindlessly opening cards at this point. And you can just see it in their eyes that they're not enjoying it and having as much fun as they used to. And can you really blame them with what the state of the community and the market is in right now? And let's be honest, everyone wants to open Pokemon cards on a YouTube channel. It's fun. It's a way to share common interests, but it is also now become a very saturated market. And because of that, some of my openings that I put so much effort into editing and creating for you all won't even get past maybe 50 or 60 views on YouTube. And, you know, it can be a little bit disheartening. Now, I'm trying to become YouTube partner so that I can get the fancy stuff with the streaming and this and that. And at first, I actually genuinely wanted to become a full-time content creator. But now I have stepped back, I have opened up my eyes, and it's just like, you know what? I want to just keep doing this for fun. I don't want to do this as a job. I don't want to ruin the feeling of something that has made me who I am. And the people that have made this their job and they get to go off and do amazing things and they don't feel like it's their job, props to you. We are each like different in our interests and how we want to do things. And maybe one day, who knows, maybe my opinion will change again, and who knows, I'll get like the amount of subscribers that I want and I'll be able to afford to do this full time. But for now, I am just going to sit back, enjoy life, take it easy, and then whenever I have free time, just open up cards for you all and do other Pokemon related content. So my message to people that are feeling completely burnt out, just know that it's perfectly fine to take a break, and the Pokemon TCG is always going to be here, hopefully. Before beginning on this last topic, I want to give a shout out to two content creators who aren't afraid to speak their minds, Opossum and Kyra, or Possum Bud. I hope I said that right. Being a person with opinions that not everyone may agree with isn't easy, especially in the video game, card, and of course, Pokemon community. So I figured that even though I'm a smaller PokeTuber, that I would shout out their work. The rest of the community is watching and listening, and the community isn't always going to be as squeaky clean, so it's always nice for people to come together and clean up all the dirty stuff. I have always wanted to be more transparent on the channel and express my opinion, and they have once again really inspired me to talk about stuff like this. Their videos are engaging, funny, and truthful, so if you have time, go check them out. You'll get a good laugh, and you'll probably agree. Back on topic though with the drama, I can't believe some of the videos that I've been seeing on my feed. From battling in front of vending machines, or brawls at Costco's or Sam's Club, of all places. In fact, there have been some people lying on Whatnot and even eBay and TCG Player. It's been one big giant mess. It's hard to trust getting product from a good source because of all the lying that's been going around. Lying for profit instead of just playing the card game and enjoying the community for what it's supposed to be. It's a mess, and honestly, I don't know how much, I don't really have much to say about all the fighting. I'm just disappointed, and hopefully it gets better, and it definitely is our job as being a part of the community to shun this behavior and call it out. But back to what I was actually talking about in the beginning of the video, we're going to talk about that now actually. As of the first week of May, we have actually begun to see the light at the end of the tunnel, believe it or not. Scalpers and resellers have been unable to sell large amount of the products that they've been sitting on because people in the community are actually sticking together and not buying it for 4 times the price. I was scrolling on my phone one day and I saw that the Team Rocket suitcase, that's gone down in price. Journey Together ETBs have even gone down. It's been great, honestly. Why though? It's because scalpers are sitting on product that no one wants to buy because it's 4 times the price, and when their plan falls through, it's having them to actually dip down the price and sell closer to MSRP or what retail would sell it as. And that means that, as everyone has been saying in their talk videos, that they are finally exiting the hobby. And for us, for people that have been in the hobby this whole time, or people that are coming in just to open up packs, enjoy the packs, and just enjoy opening up shiny cardboard, it's good because now there's going to be more product on the shelves and more product for us to be able to access. And for me, as a PokeTuber that just enjoys opening up that product just for you all to share, finally, I can probably get some more videos out instead of sitting here wondering what I'm going to do or thinking of other topics because there just aren't Pokemon cards available to open. I myself have not bought a single scalped product since the start of all this. And has my channel suffered? Yeah, it has a little bit, but I figured if I was going to complain about it, then I shouldn't be buying scalped product at all. So, what's the point in making this video? Well, my whole point in everything is, honestly, the Pokemon community, the Pokemon TCG community is what you make it. It's what we make it. Some people have forgotten what it means to be a part of the community, or are letting people that are from outside the community that are rushing in to buy the product ruin what makes the Pokemon TCG community so important to them. But sticking together through all of this, it's all going to pay off, and I am very sure that it's going to work in the end. We shouldn't let a few bad and rotten apples on the outside come in and spoil all the good apples on the inside, right? Overall, my experience in the Pokemon TCG community has been amazing, no matter what, because no community is perfect. And let's go ahead and answer that question that's in the title. Is opening up Pokemon cards still fun? Absolutely. It doesn't matter if I'm not able to get a hit out of a pack, or yeah, my own acrylic stand is damaged. It's a little disappointing, but is it ruining cards for me? Not exactly. I'm still having fun opening up my packs. I'm still excited to show everybody my latest cards that I've gotten in my collection. And I really seriously want to thank everybody that has been following me over on Instagram and on YouTube. Without you all, without everyone watching my journey, I wouldn't have a YouTube channel. I wouldn't be able to share my experience with everyone. But once again, do not let a bad bunch of apples ruin the good batch of apples in the basket. I don't plan on being someone as big as Max Mofo or Leon Hart, but I would rather kind of just enjoy what I'm doing. And if I get big, great. If I don't, and if I stay small, that's fine too with me. But seriously, for everyone that watches my channel, I seriously want to thank each and every one of you. Thank you all so much for sticking by me, and I cannot wait to continue to make videos for you all to enjoy, watch, express your opinion about. I'm super excited. I've got so many travel videos coming up soon. I'm going to go to Pokemon International Championships for the first time in New Orleans. I'm so excited for that. I'm going to my first Collecticon in Cleveland as well, just the next week after. So if you want to catch me doing all those things or watch my journey, please be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time with another video. Now, if you'll excuse me, wherever I put it, I'm going to go open up some prismatic evolutions in Korean. I'll catch you all next time with the next video. Until then, peace out. Bye.